Good morning, everybody. I'll let everybody join up if they want to. Give it about a minute or two. We'll have a little morning show before I get on the road. A nice, cool morning in North Kakalaka. We'll give it to about the 1 minute mark. I'm not going to wait too long because people can look at it in retrospect if they want to. The West Coast guys probably get left out of this one. Too bad. So sad. About 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, gentlemen. I gotta go get gas this morning, too. Damn it. Good morning, guys. I'm about to head off on preventive maintenance today. 2 systems, 2 heat pumps. Gonna take them apart and clean them and all that good stuff. Do all my maintenance stuff. I woke up this morning and the house was 68. I was like, man. And it was in the 40s outside. I was like, man, this is great. Some last minute cool before the summer hits. And it's not cool again until November. But I did have something interesting happen yesterday. We all know the Testo Smart Pros wouldn't hook up. Good morning, TJ. They wouldn't hook up to my iPad, and I'm still going to work on that. It would hook up 3 devices, but it wouldn't, like 3 different Testo Pros, but that's all it would do. Didn't matter which 3, it would hook up 3. So I'm going to continue working on that. Maybe there's something on there that's limiting how many can hook up. Try to figure that out, do a little bit of investigation. It's an iPad Pro. It's new, so it should have the latest technology. It was up to date as far as the update when I checked it. Some guys were asking about that. But I don't know. I'll look into it. But when I put my Galaxy phone, which is S6, and hooked up the Android, or hooked up the Testo Smart Probes, it did all 6 of them that I was trying. So it did fine. So I can use my phone to do it. It's just a shame. Having the iPad, which is, let me see if I got it in here. All my invoice stuff is on the iPad and the phone. And there's the iPad little case there. What's up, Billy? But some of the things that were disappointing when I transitioned, because I got new devices. I had the Samsung S5 for 2 years. So now I have the S6 because it was such a good phone. I don't see any point in changing. I went to the iPad. A lot of guys were saying Apple's the way to go. Apple doesn't have this particular app on it that I'm streaming to you on, which is live on YouTube, which was kind of disappointing. They probably will get something like that. Or like Billy has told me that I don't know if it's the YouTube app or the Creator app that's going to have a live streaming aspect on it as well. So either way, that's fine because the iPad has both those apps. But I thought it was interesting I'd share with you guys that the Testo Probes, they hooked up quickly. I turned on the app. Turned each one of them on. It found all of them. So that was a comfort that the probes were not an issue. It was something in the tablet itself that was causing the problem. It's just the iPad. I don't know what about it. It was nice. Yesterday was the first time I've talked to MI Heating Guy. I talked to him on the phone. He said he had issues with his iPad and the iManifold before. Different iPad probably. Probably not related. But it's... Oh, Billy is telling me the name of the app is YouTube Connect. So, now Billy, is that a separate app? Or is that connected to the existing apps? That would be my question, which it doesn't really matter. I hope it's available on iOS and Android. But, going back to the new devices, the S6, the reason why I got it, S5 was such a good phone. A lot of guys were like, you gotta get an iPhone. You had to have an iPhone. Well, My Android was really good, and all my Testo probes hooked to it. So, and the iPad, I like the iPad. I had an iPad mini before, so I do like Apple stuff. But I like to give them hell. I really enjoy having the iPad. It's nice to have something of larger size, that's for sure. That's why I was hoping that it had the streaming app on it. Because when I look at this and I can see the comments and everything, but it would be nice if it was a little larger. If I do this number I can't even see the screen any longer. But I was looking forward to that, but maybe that's something they can address as time goes by. I don't know how old this app is or how long it is until the next one comes out. But hopefully they'll address it at some point down the road. Like I said, I'm going out today to do preventive maintenance. They've been on video before, or I think they have. It might have been a few years. I know I did a video on these units in 2012, I think. That's how long it's been. It's a split paying system. And we have a split Goodman system that it's not home, I guess it's home warranty. A home warranty team set because I condemned it because it had a leak on the evaporator. And I gave a price to change it out, but their home was still under warranty because they had just bought it. So they had the home warranty team come in. The home warranty team came in and hooked it up and did a bang-up job. It's a 4-ton Goodman system, doesn't have enough airflow. So the heat runs an incredible split and pressure. The cooling runs lower than normal suction pressure and superheat. I put the fan up on high. It's just things like that, and they could have gone down a size. They could have gone down instead of 4, like a 3 or 3.5 for sure. Especially with the conditioned area upstairs. But, you put in what you see a lot of times. They hooked up the same wire, which was aluminum. It's just one of those things. I have to tighten the lugs every time I go there just to make sure it's not going to sit there and arc and burn off the wire or damage the cabinet or something like that. But, can't compete with free. That's what I told him, I went in there the first time to talk to him and said, yeah, you probably need to change this system out. And they looked at me and said, how much is it going to be? Like $20,000? I was like, what? It's like, man, this ain't no inverters. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about single stage. I said, no, it's not going to be $20,000. And that was back when there was 13 SEER units. I said, it's going to be a few $1,000s, but not 20. But then they got the home warranty people to come in and handle that for them. But this morning, I'm going to stop by a house that they also own, these same people. They started to do remodels. So they wanted me to come give them a price on a remodel. So what I did is I came over to this house and I ran a load calculation. I checked it out. I said, well, you going to add insulation here? What are you going to do to the windows? And it came out to 2 tons. And it was a little over 1,000 square feet. So I gave them that. I wrote up a proposal to change out. They wanted to change out the ductwork, so I wrote a proposal to change out the ductwork, relocate the air handler from the closet to the attic, new line set cover outside, unit in the corner of the house near the electrical panel to consolidate, keep the electrical short. I said, okay. And I gave them a price. And then another company came in. And keep in mind, I've worked with these people for years. Another company came in and gave them a price. Combined with the electrical, that was $3,000 cheaper. $3,000 cheaper, which I was like, wow. And they said, can you lower your price any? I said, well, I don't really have any room to lower my price. At the time, I didn't know how much lower they were than I was, but I'm glad I didn't try to lower my price because it would have strangled the profit out of the job. And it turns out, and then the lady contacted me again and said, are you coming to do preventive maintenance on my house? And I told her, I said, I didn't think we were working together anymore. And she goes, why not? And I said, because I'm too expensive. And she said no. And she said the guy that she hired for that house, she wouldn't let touch her house with a 10-foot pole. Which I thought was funny. Evidently, whenever they get investors for these properties, they only allow you a certain amount per trade for certain things. That's what the investor wants. And they had allotted an obscene amount for ductwork and split system changeout. It was barely enough to cover the split system changeout. And the bad part is I told her, I said, you're never going to get a good job at this price. It's just impossible. No one who has any ability or skill or takes pride in their work can work for this amount of money. But what are you going to do? So I'm going to try to ride by that house this morning and see how it looks. I told her I wanted to go by there whenever we were talking about this preventive maintenance. I said, I got to see this. I got to see this job that's $3,000 cheaper than mine. And if it looks really good, I'm just going to cry. But I got a feeling it's not going to look really good. It's going to look bad. Real bad. So we'll see. Let me see if his line set has a cover. And hopefully couldn't reuse the old line set. On the back of this house was an air temp unit, and I don't mean from Nordyne, I mean from Chrysler. It was an old air temp unit. So, well, I'm gonna go by there today, and I don't know if I'll shoot any video today, but I might. If I find something interesting, I might. And all you guys be safe out there today. A reminder: there's a new video on the Pro channel last night. I'll be doing a longer talk Thursday nights. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to try to do like a 30-minute little show about whatever is going on at that time period. Last time it was the Testo Smart Probes. This week, I don't know what we'll do, but it'll be Thursday at 10 o'clock if you want to watch it. I'll try to keep to that schedule unless something comes up family-wise. And I'll remind you guys a little bit closer to the date. I don't know what our video will be on the Pro channel on Thursday, or if we'll just do the live show. I don't know yet. So, you guys be safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.